Hey everybody, welcome to Strain of the Month. Got a special guest today, and I'm gonna let Bevin talk about himself and what the strain is, and just let you know what we're doing here in the future. But first, we're gonna light it up. So, Bevin, how long have you been in Virginia?
Well, I was stationed here for 8 years, in 96 to 2004. And I just recently moved back last summer, so June 2020, came back.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're doing some big things here in Richmond, and especially in the cannabis and hemp industry. And we try to look for those leader industry people here in Virginia and really try to bring them to light. So every month we kind of do a strain of the month. We have a guest person, and I specifically asked you what's your favorite strain, and what did you choose?
Sour Space Candy, I love it.
Yeah.
When I was in LA, I used to make a bunch of pre-rolls with this. So I was sitting for hours making pre-rolls, and I love the scent because it's so distinct compared to many other strains, and it's good for uplifting.
Yeah. Sour Space Candy is one of my favorites. It's a hybrid. It's very sativa forward, and it's got a real pungent, fruity smell. The buds are really nice and dense. It's one of my morning type of joints, to definitely get me going. It's definitely got some great terpenes, especially the dominant terpenes. Myrcene is one of my favorites, and pinene. Since I'm so ADD and all over the place, it helps me, even though it's a sativa, when you take ADD, you usually take Adderall or another upper to help you focus a little bit more because it's supposed to counteract. So it does the same thing with me with these, especially in the morning. I'm ready to go and just all over the place and scatterbrained. So I usually smoke me a good Sour Space Candy in the morning just to kind of help me get that mental focus.
Yeah. I find that just by the name itself, the sour, it's really good for anybody who wants to be awake, right? Like I said, it's a good morning strain. Even at lunchtime, you take a couple puffs, and it keeps you really good in the evening. And so you get really good terps. There's myrcene, pinene, humulene, right, is in there. And the smell, if you smell this, you can never forget the smell. There's some strains that you can smell, you can't really tell, right? This is one of the strains you can never forget the strain.
So a little bit about myself. I was in the military, just like you were. So thank you for your service.
Super.
Yeah. And, once you get out of service, you deal with a lot of problems because you're pretty much told what to do, when to do it, what to wear, what to eat, where to live, every single day. So your whole life is basically, you're working for somebody. You have some mental capabilities to do your own stuff, but when it comes to your job, you specifically have to do what you're told. And so transitioning from military into civilian, it becomes a little hard for us. A lot of us go through depression, anxiety, and one of the top terpenes that kind of helps with a lot of mental illnesses such as anxiety and depression is myrcene and pinene. And these are the two dominant, terpenes in this strain. So that's another thing that I like about it. It also helps me with my mental health as well.
Just like you, I was there for 8 years, and when I got out, same thing, anxiety, depression. I ended up putting on a lot of weight because I didn't know any better, right? And one thing about the military, the food, right? It was bad. And once I got out, I started eating hot dog, ribs, everything that I couldn't get in the military. I just blew up. And the thing about us veterans is it's not really a good support system for us when we get out. And so I wish I had this, years ago, but I'm glad we have it now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. The support system was very difficult for us to find any getting out of the military. We kind of go through our little training on how to find a job, how to write a resume, but they didn't really discuss on how to adapt back into civilian life. And that was the difficult part, for me, transitioning back, into civilian life. There was no training on that, or how to adapt, or even saying, hey, if you have some of these issues, come see us here. You know, there was no those outlets. You know, so a lot of us had to deal with it in certain ways. You know, some of it with, you know, drugs, alcohol, gaining weight. You know, and going to the VA hospital and pills, right? You know, and I think that's a common thing for a lot of us veterans, and is that we get fed all these pills for problems that we have, and then we have the side effects, and then we get more pills. So it's a common trait with a lot of us, right?
Yeah, it's true. So when I started losing my weight, from CBD was what helped me for my pain. And in the process, helping my anxiety and my depression. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting that. And so I started losing the weight, and I went back to the VA, and the doctor was like, "Oh, you're not on any pain meds?" I'm like, "No, not anymore." "Oh, we can get you some if you want." I'm like, "No, like, are you sure? Are you sure we can get you some medicine right now?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I got my cannabis." Yeah. But that shows you how the system is made.
What, you know, helped me as well. And, you know, that's another common trait with a lot of the veterans. We're turning to these other medicines, knowing that these pharmaceuticals aren't really helping us. You know, it's just an easy band-aid for doctors to give us at that time, you know, but for us as on our welfare, like, we're still dealing with a lot. So now you're adding other things that are not good for our body, and then not also good for us mentally, because all it's doing is just kind of putting our mental thoughts in a closet, you know, and locking it up. And then when we're finished with that medication, we're like having to deal with it again. So then it becomes a cycle. So that's why we have a lot of veterans turning into drug addicts, you know. But it's great products like cannabis, which has CBD and hemp, and also marijuana, where we do turn to, and, you know, it is natural, and it helps us tremendously with so many other benefits to it. And so, yeah, man, I'm totally on the boat with you on this as well. And, you know, I'm glad that you came by today, to especially getting another veteran's perspective, because I always preach about it, but that's one side of the story. But when you start hearing multiple people's story about it, you know, it becomes a very powerful message. Yeah, so sour space candy. I like the really deep colors, deep dark greens that it has on it. The buds are nice and big and thick. And yeah, like I said, when you first started talking about it, it just has this really distinct, pungent smell. But yeah, it's one of my favorites. So tell us a little about Choices and what you do.
So Choices is a hemp school in Richmond, Virginia. We started as a way to give back to the community. I started CBD in 2016. Like I said, I have osteoarthritis, so I have no cartilage. Like I said, in the military, everything was just go. Especially general quarters, and I was an engineer, so I was in the bottom of the ship. So like running down the steps, fall down, trip, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, everything we had to do. And as an engineer, I'm always machining some wrenches. So in the military, there was tendinitis. So after I got out, come find out it was arterial ligaments. Yeah. But because it took so long for them to figure out what it was, I lost, the cartilage was gone.
Right.
And so 2016, I got into CBD for the pain. It ended up helping me with anxiety and depression.
Right.
And so I started doing research, doing reviews on products, like flour, oils, gummies, topicals to help me. And as I did reviews, I just posted it. So for me, it was always education, because I learned and I give back. And so started CBD.how, online platform for all education on the plant. And then CBD.how, we leverage that to Choices now, which is the school. And so we teach you how to grow, teach you about the benefits. If you want to turn into a business, we can teach you how to do that as well.
That's awesome.
And so yeah, it's a wonderful experience. And I know my always thing was, no matter what we do, education is always going to be the future of everything. Because you can't sell a product here without teaching somebody how to do it.
Exactly.
And so Choices is the way for us to do that locally on the ground.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're located here in Richmond?
Yep, and 318 West Broad Street, right across from VCU.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's really close to the college. So what are some things that you've learned about putting this school together for yourself?
Don't give up. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, because for me, I find that the best thing about being in this industry is working with other people, like connecting with you, connecting with others, because the school is a school, but without connection of people, you really don't have a way to grow, right? And so like the relationships, like being here in the podcast, come here, checking the groove bags, and having the option for the students to be able to buy these products and have the faith that I took the time to actually try it, right? Because that's like I said, the reviews. So that helps a lot. It's just connection, like going around the city and building relationships.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I enjoy about the cannabis industry is, connecting with people. And when you find what you find in the cannabis industry, everybody's willing to help and educate you. All you have to do is just really ask, and everybody's just so friendly. And you're from the West Coast as well.
I'm from the East Coast. I'm from the Caribbean. I've been most of my time on the East Coast. I just went to California because I couldn't learn enough in Florida.
Yeah.
So like, let me go immerse myself.
Yeah.
And I went out there, and I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, that's funny. I have the same experience. Like I have to go out west to learn about the products, because they're just so far ahead of us here in Virginia. I'm in the same boat where I travel to these conventions a lot and conferences, and making my connections out on the West Coast to bring what they've been doing for several years over here. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm totally with you. Awesome. So where can they find your school, social media, website, phone number, if you got any of that?
So Choices RVA on Instagram, choicesrva.com is the website. I don't know the number by heart, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, just search Choices RVA, find it anywhere online.
Awesome. And is there anything that you want to tell us a little bit about?
What got going on?
Yeah, what's going on right now?
So on January 1st, we're launching our membership program called the Flower Club.
Okay.
So it's $49.99 starting a month. You get free classes. So January 15th, we have germination class. Come and support that. Awesome. Then February, we have veg class. Mm-hmm. For March, we have flowering. And then when we do the April, we're going to do the current class and drying current. Mm-hmm. And then we have soil. And then next month, we have lighting. So providing all these free classes for our members. We have private sesh. So as we harvest the plants that we grow as well, members get to partake in
awesome.
flowers. And then just do private events. So we have movie nights, we have game nights, each of the cannabis nights, which is a free for the community, and we do grow tours. So January 6th, 2022, come up to that. We do that once a month. And so the goal is to just bring people in who wants to learn and have them at an affordable price, and they get everything, right? Because the current times, things are changing for us.
Yeah.
Right? And we want to make sure that people can still get their medicine, still get to learn about it, and get to network. And not just with us, like I said, we work doing the class together. So it's an avenue for us to bring people in, and people feel safe coming to the school compared to going to like some stores. Mm-hmm. And so if we can direct them to other community members, it's a wonderful thing for us. And that's how I love teaching. That's how I learned to heal myself and continue to heal myself.
Yeah.
And so why not do that for members?
Yeah. Especially with some big changes, coming here in Virginia with the legalization July 1st of last year or this year. And then there's a lot of questions, especially with home cultivation. Everybody's trying to do that. And then also retail sales, which they're trying to mandate in 2023, January 1st. So that's some new news that's just coming out. There's a lot of things going on in Virginia, and a lot of people don't know where to turn to. So we're glad that you have this school and you're putting this together, and being, like I said, a leader industry here for us, so people can get educated.
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest things we found from the student is they don't know how to germinate.
Yeah,
they all have problems with the seeds. And so having that opportunity to teach them and to see it in person, the eyes just lights up when they see it. So that's like, it's a beautiful feeling for me.
Right, exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by today and discussing your favorite strand of the month, the Sour Space Candy.
Yes.
Y'all guys can check us out on oldmanchesterhemp.co. You can come by the shop at 1308 Whole Street, Richmond, Virginia. We're also on Instagram, oldmanchesterhemp.co, and Instagram and Facebook. Sour Space Candy is one of our strands that we carry on the shelves. We got a total of 32 different strands here on our shelves. We're very flower forward. We do carry other products as well, but our main focus is the flower, the terpenes, and education. So, Bevin, thank you again for stopping by, man. And we'll see you again. So make sure you check us both out, and we'll see you for next time. Thanks.